Today, I will be sharing to you a fact about every train in SCR. The game is now in version 2.2, so there will be facts about Metro and other trains. Some facts might become outdated due to future updates to the game. All the facts and images shown are from the SCR wiki page, so all credits go to them and a link will be in the description. Now, let's start the video. When the Class 68 first got upgraded to next generation, it featured a livery based on TransPennine Express livery for their Nova 3 coaches. This train ties with the Class 68 to be the most expensive Stepford Connect train at 3,000 points. The Class 158 was one of the first two next-generation trains released in the game, the other one being the Class 508 on Waterline. Former Managing Director sneak peeked the Class 168, modeled by product developer Mr. Transport Guy, on the 4th July 2021, along with its sister trains the Class 170 and the Class 171. The Class 170 is similar to the Class 171, with the main differences being their couplers, VSI versus Delna, and operators, Stepford Connect versus Waterline. The Class 185 was originally only available as a Game Pass before the big update, along with the Class 165, Class 166, Class 170, Class 321, Class 333, Class 350, Class 377, Class 387, Class 465, and the Class 720. The Class 195/2 was the first double-unit train added to Stepford Connect. This train, the Class 345 and Class 360 are the only TfL stock in Stepford County Railway. Before the Class 331 got the next generation update, the door chimes were similar to the Class 707. The Class 333 and Class 332 are nicknamed fishbowls by the community because of their round head design. The Class 350 and the Class 730/1 are the fastest Stepford Connect trains in the game at 110 miles per hour. The Class 357 and Class 387 were the first Electro-Star trains to be in the game. This train is designated as a Class 360/0 for the normal version and Class 360/5 for the special version, even though none of those variants actually exist in real life. This is one of 7 trains in the game that are defunct in real life, with the others being the Class 458/0, Class 143, Class 319, Class 508, and the Class 313. This train was the only train to have any red on its livery. The Class 720 also had red before it was rebuilt using CSG model. This was removed in V1.7 when it received an NGV3 rebuild. The Class 380 was the first train to be split into 2 variants. The variants are numbered as /0 and /1, with the difference being that the /1 variant has one more car, making it a 4-car train. As both are made by Hitachi, the Class 385 shares its driving sounds with the Class 80X trains. This train has the idling and accelerating sounds that the Class 80X trains used to have before V2.2, but has a different horn and door chimes. This train only operates on 29 out of the 43 Stepford Connect routes. In addition, this train, alongside the Class 68, can operate the exclusive R26, Stepford Victoria to Lynn by the Sea, and R36, Willowfield to Lynn by the Sea routes. This is the only train in SCR, along with the Class 730, where the different variants of the train have different maximum speeds. Many new players in the game target to buy this train as their first paid train, as it's the cheapest paid train. In real life, these trains are numbered as 720/1, 720/5, or 720/6. However, in SCR, all Class 720 units are numbered as 720/5. This is the longest Stepford Connect train in terms of physical length. However, since V1.8.2, it is still beaten by the Class 717 in terms of number of coaches. The Class 555 is the only train on Metro and the entire game to feature fully longitudinal seating. The Class 717 is the only train in the entire network that has a top speed of 85 miles per hour. This also makes it the fastest train to run on Metro. The Class 756 is the first tri-mode train ever added to Stepford County Railway. For an unknown reason, pantographs have been fitted on the Class 777, despite it running exclusively on 750-volt DC third rail in real life. The horn on the Class 143 is the same as that of the Class 720 and Class 345, but with a slightly lower pitch. The Class 165 is the sister train of the Class 166. Both trains are identical, with the only difference being the number of coaches. The Class 166 is the only train to be upgraded in V1.5 that didn't actually have its own sneak peek. The Class 165, however, did. Unlike its real-life counterpart, the Class 171 in SCR has no disabled toilets, only two standard ones at the end of each coach. The Class 195 is the first train on Waterline to have coach variants. The Class 313 is one of the 4 trains to feature a dedicated emergency exit. The others being the Class 319, Class 717 and Class 777. In real life, some of the Class 319 units have been modified to Class 769s, which are B-mode units of the same model. The Class 379 was introduced as a substitute for the Class 387, which was transferred to AirLink. As a result, there was never a previous generation version of this train. The Class 730/0 was part of the last batch previous generation trains to be upgraded to next generation, alongside the Class 165, Class 166, and the Class 380. Until the introduction of the Class 717 in V1.8.2, the double unit of the AirLink Class 185 was the only 6-coach train in use. However, it was not the first 6-coach train in use, as Class 700 units were in-game pre-1.0. The Class 332 units are the oldest multiple units on AirLink, having been introduced in 1998 in real life. The Class 345 has an exclusive livery, the AirLink Shuttle livery. In V1.7.1, the Class 360, along with the Class 185, on AirLink, have had their livery changed to the new AirLink livery. The Class 387 is the only AirLink train that can be powered via third rail and to have cab-end gangways. The Class 397 is now the second train on AirLink that has a top speed of 125 miles per hour, along with the Class 802. The Class 745 is the second train introduced to SCR after the addition of points to be Game Pass exclusive, after the Class 390. The Class 755 is the first train in SCR to have its own special power car, the second being its sister train, the Class 756. The Class 802 was the first train on AirLink and the entire game to receive a NGV3 rebrand and new logo. The HST, or the Class 43, is the oldest drivable train in SCR, as the rail train that it is based from entered its service in 1976. The Class 08, having entered service in 1953, is older, but not drivable. With a total of 5 variants, Standard, Standard Double, 100 million, 100 million Double, and Standard Plus 100 million, the Class 180 has the most variants of any train in SCR. The Class 220 is practically the same as the Class 221, with the exception of the bogie design and the number of coaches. In real life, there are 4 car variants of the Class 221. However, they are very rare and are not available in SCR. The Class 390 is the second train in SCR that can tilt, in real life, after the Class 221. The horn on the Class 397 is a reversed version of the horn on the Class 195 and the Class 331. Despite the Class 800/2 having 5 coaches instead of 6, this train is about the same length as the Class 43, 4-car, including the locomotives. The maximum design speed of the Class 801 is 140 miles per hour, but same as reality, their service speed in SCR is limited to 125 miles per hour to match with the max speed of the line and other restrictions. This also applies to the Class 800. The locomotive was not explicitly revealed to be a Class 08, but the community quickly identified it. The Class 66 was modeled by Matty X 2013 for his games in the Freight franchise. Bantech has stated that the Class 323 might release after all trains are converted into next-generation trains. Then product developer, Matty X 2013, confirmed this in an X, formerly Twitter, reply. However, as both parties have stepped back from the game, this may have changed since then. The Class 465 units were rarely in use before the next generation upgrade, as the original paper version of this train was unfavorable among drivers due to its poor modeling and sounds. The Class 508 was one of two Waterline trains to lack a door-opening chime, alongside the Class 143. The Class 700 was the longest train in the entire fleet until its removal. Until V1.1, where the AirLink Class 185 double became the longest at 6 cars then. The Class 701 is the only train that wasn't replaced by another train when it was removed. And that was a fact about every train in SCR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you don't want to, that's fine. I just hope you enjoyed this. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely day.